Hey everybody, Sam Dog, the infamous 253, and Brendon Nelson coming at you guys with our preview for the Thursday night game between the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks from CenturyLink Field. Round two since that heartbreaking overtime loss a few weeks back, and now we basically are at the end of the tough gauntlet. Brendon, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Sam. Thank you for having me back on.
Yep, thank you for coming on. So, yep, we all know basically what happened last time when we played the Cardinals, where we had those three interceptions. That would ultimately be what killed us, and then getting out coached on the defensive side of the ball when they were able to get pressure and running backs were missing key blocks on blitzes, and yeah, and then obviously no pressure on Kyler Murray. Except the only difference is now this time we'll have Jamal Adams and Carlos Dunlap in this game, but we're still a little banged up. Don't know if we're going to be getting Griffin back this week. So first key, obviously, is still this time around, we got to do a better job shutting down the receivers and getting pressure on Kyler Murray. That's obviously point number one.
Yeah, and the good news is since the last time we played Arizona, we have added two players who may very well be our two best pass rushers. Dunlap and Jamal Adams may very well be the two best pass rushers on this team. So at the very least, we're coming in with those guys, although we know Jamal Adams is playing injured. It seems like he's ready and willing to tough it out. And he made several plays against the Rams that made me feel like he can definitely have a good impact on this game. But yeah, what happened in the last Arizona game was really a unicorn as far as modern NFL goes, where we did not land a single quarterback hit on Murray, and we did not have a single pass deflection on defense either.
Yeah.
You will not find another defense in recent NFL history that had a game where both those things happened. And yeah, obviously the first thing thinking about this game is there are probably some people on this team who are playing for their jobs, because after this game is over, we're going to have a couple extra days off that we usually don't have. We're going to have, the short week the long week. It's not a full bye week, but it's like the mini bye week after the Thursday game. And you could really see, if there's a poor performance on Thursday, somebody like Ken Norton Jr. losing their job. So if I'm that guy, I'm thinking I am coaching for my job on Thursday night, and that alone should motivate these guys a little more than usual.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. And I've had my issues with Ken Norton Jr., that's for damn sure. And then, of course, we have to try to shut down, once again, their running game. And we know Chase Edmonds is hard to bring down, along with – do they have Kenyon Drake back yet?
I think they do, but either way, it doesn't matter that much to me. Um, this against this Seahawks defense, any smart team is just going to keep passing the ball because we can't stop it. We have yet to prove that we can stop the pass against any team we have played this year. We maybe made a couple strides against the Rams, but still had 300 yards, still moved down the field, still picked up every crucial third down. So, yeah, I'm not worried about Chase Edmonds or Kenyon Drake or anything like that. This game is not about them. This game is about our ability to do something to stop the pass.
Yeah, so it's just we got to play more man coverage. Like I've been saying, it's just man coverage. Got to shut down Hopkins. Hopkins obviously is going to get his yards. And then, of course, Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella, freaking Larry Fitzgerald still, and the usual suspects that we usually face every time when we play those guys at the receiver position, There's them, and then it's the matter of this time still getting pressure on Kyler Murray. And then offensive-wise is Wilson's got to do a better job taking care of the football and making smarter decisions, trying to get wide open receivers and tight ends and just, looking out still on their defensive side, with Buda Baker and Freak in their secondary. And then, of course, you got that rookie linebacker from Clemson who had the interception in overtime, which was, God, what was his name again?
Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, Isaiah Simmons from he was from Clemson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had that other interception. Says Wilson's got to. This is the week Wilson has to get his head out of his ass and start playing better football, man. Because we got to stop the bleed. We haven't lost three games in a row since 2011.
Yeah, and I did mention when I was talking about this season right before it started, when I was looking at the schedule, I did say that this was going to be a tough sequence for us, and it was conceivable that we could drop a few games here. if you want to be technical, we are right where I thought we would be in terms of our record at this point. I certainly didn't think we were going to be here because we had maybe the worst defense in NFL history. But yeah, that whole thing of losing 3 games in a row, it's going to be very interesting to see how this team responds to the last 2 weeks, because I think this is the first time in at least 3 years, and maybe a lot longer, that I've seen significant parts of the fan base starting to really doubt Wilson, because it's 2 bad games in a row. It's uncharacteristically bad games in a row. It's not even that we're not moving the ball. It's that he's turning the ball over, and he's never been that guy. He's never been the guy who turns the ball over a lot. Last year, he turned the ball over, I think, 5 or 6 times the whole season. He's got 10 in the last month. So, yeah, I've seen people start to wonder, maybe this guy just isn't as good as we thought. And I'm sure he's aware of that, and I'm very interested to see how he responds to that, because once again, it's not really going to be easy for him, because it doesn't seem like we're going to have Carson. It's maybe 50-50. Looks like we're going to have Carlos Hyde, which is nice, but he's not a super dynamic playmaker either. So it's not like it's going to be that much easier for him. He's still going to have a deficiency at the running back spot, and he's still going to have to be the focal point of the offense and the reason why we win or lose. So at the end of the day, Wilson is one of the highest paid players in the league. He needs to
start playing like it.
Yeah, he needs to play like it. And there can be no, like I mentioned this in my video a little bit earlier today, but there's no scaling back the offense and letting Wilson be a bus driver. You can't pay $40 million for a bus driver.
No.
No.
Absolutely
So
can't.
either he figures it out or he shouldn't be making all that money. It's period.
Yeah. And then, of course, oh, God, I'm trying to think about what I was going to say next. It's just we got to, this time, if we put ourselves in that situation again, like if we have a short lead and we're trying to, burn the clock again, that was just dumb, just running it 3 straight times in a row. Granted, I know we were trying to burn the clock. We could have at least ran it once and then try to do like a dump off to the tight end, Will Dissly or Greg Olsen, to try to get some chunk yards for a first down to try to dagger the game, of course, staying in bounds, of course, too. I mean, if that situation ever comes again, because, basically not getting that last first down the last time, basically let them come back and, force overtime and win the game. It's just can't make those.
I mean, I'm not going to get hung up on specific things that happened in that game that didn't quite go our way. Obviously, I was critical of that decision-making at the time, but there is decision-making going on with this team in pretty much every game that seems to hurt this team's chance of winning. The troubling thing is I don't get the sense that this coaching staff and this brain trust in general believes that they're doing anything wrong. I think they still don't really understand it. But what I will say is this: we have a clear deficiency with our coaching staff right now. The only coaches that are really doing their job right now are Schottenheimer and Solari, and to a certain extent, whoever replaced Schneider as the special teams coach, whose name escapes me at the moment. But we are at a clear disadvantage against pretty much every team we play when it comes to the coaching. So the only thing I can say right now is that the players need to overcome that. The players need to be special. The players need to be clean, and the players need to be near perfect in order to make up for that deficit. Because for at least this one game, these coaches are not going to change, and they're not going to suddenly change the way they do things in a few days. We just played a couple days ago. We're going to play in a couple days. These guys are suddenly not going to come out with something completely different because of, one game with bad results and a few days to prepare for the next game. So all I can say is that the players just need to play better. The execution needs to improve.
Damn right, man. Damn right. We just got to, just cannot, just make the same mistakes as last time. Just needs to come out firing, just it's going to be hard to respond. And this is a week where we have to stop the bleeding. If we lose this game, then basically either Arizona or LA is going to win the NFC West.
Yeah, if we want to win the division, then
this is
probably a game we need to win. And the good thing is, here's the thing. The Seahawks, after this game, have an opportunity to reel off a bunch of wins without playing great football. We have a bunch of teams coming up. that we can beat if we just play okay. We don't need to play great to beat those teams. That's fine. But for this one Thursday night, they need to find a way to be great. And I don't know exactly who they're going to have. I don't know if they're going to have Posick. I don't know if they're going to have Shaq. I don't know if they're going to have Dunbar. I don't know if they're going to have Carson. But whoever goes out there, they just need to find a way to be great, because Arizona, they're a flawed team, but they are a good team. And you're going to have to be great in order to win that game. And quite simply, with the way this team, this organization went all in on trying to win a Super Bowl this year, it has to happen, or else I'm inclined to believe it's just never going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yep. Let's just wait and see, and just, I mean, whatever happens, happens, and I'm just hoping for the best right now, but like I said, I'm beginning to have my doubts, I'm beginning to have my doubts about this team, in this game. And me and Dallas talked about, it's just, this is a week where we have to try and stop the bleeding to save the season.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. At this point, we say the same kinds of stuff every week about what the Seahawks need to do to win certain games, and we talk about it in terms of scheme or X's and O's or a certain player or a certain matchup, but this just needs to be about your pride. This needs to be about, just not willing to let the season slip away like this, because we have an easy schedule. We, especially compared to the other teams in our division, if you look the rest of the way, and things in this conference are breaking our way. Green Bay doesn't look that good all of a sudden. The Saints might be done because Drew Brees may not play again until the playoffs. Tampa Bay, they've already lost 3 games. They look like a flawed team themselves. This is not a great conference. It's a tough division, but even that's a little overestimated in my opinion. So combine that with the fact that we went all in to get players like Jamal Adams, the massive trade we made for him. You're kind of looking at a make or break game on Thursday night, and that needs to awaken something in these players to go above and beyond what they're usually capable of to make sure you get this win. There's nothing I can say about scheme. There's nothing I can say about this matchup or that matchup. I can say a couple things about those things. I can say that Wilson needs to get it out of his head that he can't throw at Patrick Peterson. He needs to go after Patrick Peterson if Peterson's going to be covering Metcalf in single coverage. He refused to attack Jalen Ramsey in coverage.
He should have attacked Ramsey last week, and the next time we get him again, we better start attacking stars. I mean, just like when he attacked Gilmore on that one touchdown we had against New England in week 2. It's just attack their stars. We gotta have the confidence to attack their star corners.
Yeah. So if we go out there on Thursday and Pat Peterson is trying to single cover DK Metcalf, you can't be afraid of that matchup. If that's one thing that I think Wilson sometimes gets in his head. He doesn't want to attack the best cornerback on the other team, which is to a certain extent understandable. I can talk about stuff like that. I can talk about how we should be utilizing our tight ends a good amount in this game because Arizona typically does not cover tight ends very well. I can talk about things like that, but ultimately at the end of the day, kind of like what I said last week, there's just needs to be something with this team that wakes up and says, hey, this is a game we need to save our season. I don't care who we don't have. I don't care who's out. I don't care who's hurting. Find a way to make enough plays to win. And that's the best I got.
It kind of reminds me of 2012 when after we lost to the Dolphins in Miami, when we had to go to Chicago and just find a way to keep the season alive. And then we went in there and won that crazy overtime game, hitting Sidney Rice for that game-winning touchdown in 2012, which, basically kept our season alive. And then we obviously went to Buffalo and dropped the 50 points on them, and then did the 58 points against Arizona, and just were able to cruise our way to the playoffs before losing to Atlanta in the freaking divisional round that year. I mean, so this game has to be – this reminds me of what happened in Chicago in freaking 2012. This is like we said, this is the make or break game. Season on the line. NFC West chances on the line.
And it's literally maybe make or break for Ken Norton Jr. because once again, we have a mini bye week after this game. It's a great opportunity to get rid of your defensive coordinator and try to do something different going into the softest part of your schedule. So if Norton does not put something out there on the field that indicates that he's starting to figure this out and things might get better, I really do think Carroll is going to have no choice but to fire him.
Yeah.
And I promise you that if the defense does not perform on Thursday and Norton sticks around beyond Friday, the fan base is going to be absolutely up in arms, and it could get pretty ugly. So
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
him, he has to be thinking in terms of, I am literally coaching for my job. And Carroll too. I mean, I know he likes Norton. That's the only reason why Norton is here. The only
Because
reason why Norton still has a job at all is because Pete, for some reason, likes him. If you want him to stick around, you got to make sure you do something out there above and beyond to win this game.
yep.
And that, to me, is what this game is about. If this team has any sense of pride, if this team has any sense of understanding what this season is about and what this game means, they will find a way to win.
Yeah. And then also, didn't the Saints fire someone mid-season in their Super Bowl run in 2009?
Well, the most extreme example I have is the Ravens actually did that. They were
2012.
9-4. Yeah, the Ravens in 2012, they were 9-4, and they fired their offensive coordinator, who was Cam Cameron, I think, because they didn't like what he was doing, and they went on to win the Super Bowl. So sometimes you do have to do something like that, because I remember that season very well. The Ravens lost a game to the Steelers, who were starting Charlie Batch at quarterback. They did nothing on offense the whole game, and they dropped to 9-4. And they could have just rolled with it, but they decided, you know what? No, let's make a change, and it paid off for them. I really expect something like that to happen this weekend, or maybe even before the weekend, if the defense does not do something on Thursday. I don't expect greatness. I don't expect perfection, but I expect something a little more competent than what we've been seeing. Because even against the Rams, I know we saw some good things against the Rams. Still couldn't get off the field on third down, still
Yep.
had very limited pressure. It wasn't great. So, yeah, that's basically what I can say about this one.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. And with that, did we get everything out the way?
I think so. I'm really tired of talking about schematic things or matchup things. Like I said, the only thing I know about this team is that however it needs to happen, they need to find a way to win on Thursday night.
Exactly. All right. Me and Brendon about to sign out here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Drop your thoughts in the comments too. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Brendon Nelson and subscribe to my channel if you're new too. And catch you guys in the next one. Let's just hope for the best, and let's just hope that we can try to stop some of the bleeding. And if you ain't with it, you ain't infamous. As always, go Seahawks.